Okay, we're just about there. Okay. Hello, Dougie. Okay. There you go. Sorry about that.
It's okay. All
There
set?
we go.
Yep.
Okay, we'll back up again. The meeting was called to order at 7:02. Special meeting, Thomaston WPCA. In attendance on the commission is Joe Feiner, Veronica Leduc, Rich Chandon, John Piscopo, and I'm Tom Mueller. The next item on the agenda is the meeting, the minutes for the special meeting on April 28th. Does anybody have any comments or questions on that?
No.
Move we accept the minutes?
Okay, who was that?
John Piscopo.
Rich Chandon,
Hey,
second.
Ken. Do we have a second?
Rich Chandon, second.
Okay, any discussion on the motion? Do a roll call vote. Joe Feiner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Veronica Leduc, how do you vote?
Aye.
Rich Chandon,
Aye.
John Piscopo.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Minutes are accepted. Okay, I would entertain a motion to move Black Rock State Park from old business up to the current location on the agenda.
So moved.
Second, Piscopo.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, John. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Well, okay, I should have done a roll call again, but I think we got everybody. Motion passes. Okay, who wants to take the lead on the group from Black Rock State Park?
Well, let me have the first speaking role, and then others from the state of Connecticut Deep are on the call. So David Cooley, and so he'll be able to contribute as and where.
Okay, who's speaking now, please?
Richard Couch, CO.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
So we've followed up on some information. I've been in front of the meeting when it was cold, and now we're moving forward. We were at the last Zoom meeting, you know, and I forwarded information to Rich Tingle. We have a list. We have a list from Chairman Mueller of things that were required to be completed or performed, or things we needed to be able to do.
I'm sorry, this is Joe Feiner. At least on my end, I didn't hear anything for a while there. I don't know if that was universal or just my connection.
I was actually just about to type, if anybody has their phone on in addition to their computer, you will get some feedback that we all will hear.
Yeah,
So-
I'm just on the computer, but Mr. Couch just froze up and video stopped and audio stopped.
I can free wheel back.
I apologize. I missed about 15 30 seconds.
Oh no, you didn't miss much. And so Chairman Mueller had sent an email identifying things that we needed to provide and information and progress. And I've been talking with Rich Tingle during this process also, and followed it up with an email of update today. I've talked with Mr. Catarino, who's the chairman of the Waterford WPCA, and this was really in reaching out regarding the need for agreement and whether there'd be any conflict with Waterford over a municipal agreement. He said that he didn't see that there would be any problem at all. The logic is that there are no sewers anywhere near us. And so we just need to be able to put that in writing. He's going to take that to his committee and they'll place a vote on it. He doesn't see there being any dispute. He requested that there be an agreement between the state and watered down WPCA so something can be filed on the land records memorializing the agreement as opposed to just a vote within the WPCA itself. We have sent him also, just so that you know what's going on outside, the set of design drawings and details so that they can see, even though they don't have necessarily any jurisdiction, but they can see what it is that's occurring. We have a need to be able to provide a discussion and approval of your additional costs related to, or the costs related to the consultant to review the plans. And then it's to agree the flows. And so I think the big mission for us tonight, is to have the flows agreed, the total flows, and then to take it to its next step.
Okay, Stacy, could you put up the Watertown PDF, please?
Sure.
Just so everybody can read the email from Mr. Couch documenting the conversation with Watertown. Bert, you keep popping up on there. You have the voice turned on. We're picking up background noise, I think.
It might be, yeah, but I'm in my car.
Okay. Mr. Couch, it's too bad that Mr. Caterino didn't reply to my email 3 months ago. We wouldn't have to wait for him to get approval from his commission now. I sent him an email at the end of January.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea at all when he expects to have an answer?
He didn't give any indication there'd be any difficulty in providing it soon. I could call him back and reconnect and ask him for a specific date. I've implied that we'd like a time and schedule, but I'll call him back and get a specific date.
Okay.
This
Well,
is
I don't know
David.
that we need a specific date, but we do kind of want to know whether it will be within a week or two, or will it take 6 months? I think that makes a difference.
As it's I would imagine as this is a vote within the commission, when their next meeting is, it could be potentially on the agenda and voted that night. So I will reach out to him and find out.
Okay, appreciate that.
And I'll send you copies of that communication.
Okay.
I think it's worth noting, this is David Cooley from DEP. I think it's worth noting that we had reached out to Watertown Water and Sewer in the planning stages of this project prior to design starting. So just wanted to state that for the record.
Yeah, I think you told me that a while back, David. Thank you. Okay, your estimated flow is still a maximum of 33,000 gallons per day?
Correct. Obviously massively variable from the graphs that we've submitted on water use.
Okay, who are you buying the water from?
Connecticut Water.
Okay, they're the one that basically serves Thomaston then too.
Yeah, we're bringing it in from the Thomaston line. part of the directional drill, horizontal directional drill, will be to send a sanitary line underneath the Waterbury water and the wetlands brook to be able to emerge on the other side of the brook, but also to pull water back in the reverse direction.
Okay,
This is David Cooley again. The park is presently served by Waterbury Water Department off a tap, 3 taps actually, of their 36-inch transmission main that runs through the meadow at Black Rock. It was determined that we could not upsize that tap to provide the sufficient flows for this project, specifically fire flows. Therefore, we turned to Connecticut Water on your side of Branch Brook to also bring that in, as Richard said.
okay, so you would abandon the connection to Waterbury then?
Correct.
Okay, does any member of the commission have any questions to this point? Okay,
good, thank you.
Stacy, pardon me?
I'm good, Tom, thanks.
Okay. Stacy, could you put up the Black Rock connections? Okay, had an email conversation with Mr. Eric Ott, I believe with the DEEP as well, with state of Connecticut. Copied David Cooley regarding the connection charges.
This is Eric Ott, Chairman Mueller, and I'm on the line. So if there's any questions, I can certainly try and answer those.
Okay, well, I guess your thoughts on my last email.
And maybe if we can take a step back and get a better understanding of the connection fee. I don't think we've ever been, we've faced that before in our other facilities. You know, these sites are simple tent sites. There's not an electrical hookup. There's, you know, some of these campgrounds, not ours, not our state facilities, but certainly there's some campgrounds where you get everything that ultimately would be serving a home. And that's not the case at Black Rock State Park. You know, I think there's common water spigots throughout the campground. There's 2 toilet buildings that are toilet/shower buildings that serve the campsites. You know, certainly a majority of the campers are in tents, or they might have a pop-up camper. Once in a while, RVs come through, but they typically all use the 2 sanitary facilities that we have in the campground. And then if there does happen to be an RV that is using our facility, they typically would dump their waste on the way out at the dump station. So I guess I'm at a little bit of a loss as to how the tent sites get counted as connections.
They're defined as a unit. And the people in that campsite, regardless of whether they have a water connection and a sewer connection at that campsite, or they use a remote one someplace else, can reasonably be expected to discharge about the same amount of sewage per day. And that's how we define a unit. And we build a connection charge on the basis of the number of units. It doesn't matter where they discharge it, they're discharging that amount of water. If you have 6 people, they're going to use the toilets and the showers, whether they're on the campsite or whether they're in a building that's 40 feet away.
And I guess I'm trying to, in my mind, just rationalize a tent site and then a toilet building and a day use toilet building and then a visitor center and a maintenance building kind of being counted equally. And I guess I still can't make that connection. You know, I think, again, we've looked at the public health code from a flow standpoint. And again, the tent sites, you know, are very limited in generation of waste, you know, compared to a house, you know, 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms or whatever.
They have to use a bathroom someplace. They have to take showers someplace. They have to wash dishes someplace.
I don't disagree, but I think when people go camping, it's different than obviously, you know, the individuals in their house. So is this like a convenience fee per site? I'm trying to think of it as, you know, a different way to look at it, and maybe
This
it's
is
just
Joe
me.
Finer.
Go
Well,
ahead,
part-
Joe.
In part, what we're looking at is the way the regulations are defined and the way we've historically assessed them in the past. We don't make a distinction between an in-law apartment, 1 person, 1 bedroom, 1 kitchen, to a 20,000 square foot house. And that's just the way way it's been written up. I'm open to listen to arguments, but I think the arguments have got to be based on something other than definitional, or we can discuss our definitions, but I think that's what Tom's going after, is that's the way it's written up.
Okay, and I at one point, this is Eric out again. I at one point went, I think, to your website and tried to find some of that and didn't find that. So I guess that maybe that's what I'm missing. I'm not sure what my management will think about that. I guess we'll have to cross that bridge. I did not bring this up to them yet. Again, I wanted to kind of get a full understanding of this.
This is Rich Tingle here. And also, we have like commercial and industrial unit, just an office in a commercial building. They're charged as a unit, benefit connection fee as well. So it's just the way we define a unit is what, and it's any property that has the potential to has the potential to generate like 70,000 gallons a day. A year, 200 gallons a day that's what we base. We consider that a unit.
So this is Dave Cooley. So if a campsite is defined as a unit, as a unit, are the toilet buildings ignored?
Yes. We didn't put in for units for those because they're being used. The campsites are using those buildings as their bathrooms. So we didn't charge the bathroom unit as units.
I think that's kind of ironic that the actual physical piping and the collection of waste will be occurring at those toilet buildings, but not at a campground. Understood that the people that are using it are coming from the campsite, but if we're not quantifying the degree in which a building or a unit is used in terms of generating sewage flows on the low or high end, then the sewage connection and the collection is occurring at those buildings.
Well, when I calculated that, I didn't feel it would be like double dipping. If I build the restaurant or the rest room facilities, we're done, and then did the campground, then you're getting it twice.
Yeah, understood. I think it's either or.
Yeah. Yep. And it's the campsites that are generating the waste at those facilities.
This is Eric. Mr. Tingle, you said it was 200 gallons per day was kind of like the cutoff point for when you start to count a unit or not?
Yeah, I don't have that.
Rich, it's 70 gallons per day.
70
Capable-
gallons per day. Okay, yeah.
Can reasonably be expected or capable of discharging 70 gallons of sewer discharge per day.
So that's also part of that definition of a unit.
Yes.
Okay. I like the 200 number better.
I don't know where I got that from. It is 70 though.
Yeah, I don't know what my management's going to say on that. I mean, we may, have to rethink things here. From a flow standpoint, I know there was some concern about the plant being near capacity and obviously trying to make sure there's some room for, future development, maybe commercial development. Is there a concern with the 33,000 gallons per day as part of this as well? Or are we we've settled on the 33?
Well, we haven't voted on it yet, but I don't think there's a big problem with the 33,000.
Okay.
Because typically the higher flows would be during drier season in the summer. I mean, there's been some pretty wet summers, but.
And quite often, if it's a wet summer, our attendance is down, and really we're talking, mid-April through September is really the operating season, with really the peak being basically now through August.
Yep.
In a typical year, it'd be when the kids start to get out of school and then ultimately families start to take vacations. So really it would be restricted primarily to the summer season. But I just want to raise that question. I thought the 33,000 was a big concern. And I think, again, that's probably on the high side anyways. And then, as you mentioned, it's certainly seasonal in nature.
Well, it's certainly something that we think about and we consider because we are getting closer to the limits. If this were to go forward, when do you think that everything would be in place? It's going to take a while to build it, right?
That's correct. I mean, that's a good point. I mean, really our first phase is the visitor center and then the maintenance building. That's part of this project. So, there's not an immediate intent on tying in those other distressed systems. I mean, as I'm sure you fellows are familiar, the state of the state's not great. So, funding isn't available to go ahead and tie in these 9 different waste generating systems. But really it's, and again, I think that's on the lower end of that flow, certainly. I mean, it's going to be a net zero building, so there's very little water use and waste generated. And then the maintenance building, again, is going to be primarily for the park staff. So there's probably, I think it's maybe 3 full-time staff. And then this time of year, they'll hire some seasonal help. And again, it'll be heavily used during the summer months and then less so outside of the summer.
Right.
This is David Cooley again. Just a general question, I guess, is I mean, our operation at BlackRock with the headquarters and without it is almost exclusively seasonal. So is that part of the consideration at all? I'm not disputing the definition of a unit, but the 70 gallons per person per day or per unit per day, we will go through 4, 5, 6 months of the year, and there'll be next to nothing in terms of flows.
Well, Mr. Cooley, actually, the actual flow you would be paying a per gallon or per 1,000 gallon fee for, and that really has nothing to do with the connection charge. Now, as far as bringing buildings and facilities online in steps at different times, the connection charges could be done over time as those facilities became ready. Doesn't have to be done in one big lump sum.
So if the maintenance facility and the visitor center are constructed first, and that is the plan, establish a sewer connection for those, setting the stage for future connections, but phasing that in, we would use this same mechanism to come back to you folks and request those connections and expanding our collection system in the park?
Well, if the whole project is approved, either tonight or next month, depending on when Watertown gets back to you and you get to go ahead from your management, you really wouldn't have to come back. You'd just probably contact Rich, and then he could make a quick inspection and then take care of the benefit, take care of the connection charge at that time. You don't have to come back to another WPCA meeting for that part.
Okay.
Yeah, and Joe Finer, just to expand, right? So the flow and the connections would be approved, and then the charge would be as the connection, so to speak, is incurred.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, does anybody else have any comments, questions?
Tom, Rich again, and just so everyone remembers, we also have to change our sewer service map once this all gets approved also.
Okay.
Would it be possible to approve the flow pending these things so that they, that the benefit connection fee is approved, that the, any other thing we're waiting on the state as far as the letter from Watertown WPCA stating that there's, that pending approval of that, so that they at least could get their flow accepted, approved.
I'm okay with that if somebody wants to put that in a motion and put it to a vote. I don't see a problem with that.
The motion would have to be along the lines of approving the flow and then later assessing connection fees as they are established. Is that what you're suggesting?
With the other contingency being acceptance of the project and approval from Watertown.
And review of our of the plans and details from our engineer.
Well, my thought is I'm pretty sure the folks from the state right now are considering the evaluation of our regulations as unit to try to see how best to manage that. Would that outstanding discussion be fixed in place by approval of flow? I don't think it would, but I'm just asking the question. I think we could approve flow and then leave the question of connection fees open. Because there are no connections that will be established anytime soon. And if I'm
And then,
wrong, the folks this from the state of Connecticut can tell me, oh no, they're happy, you know, let's go.
well, the only thing with that is what if there is no agreement on the connection charges?
Yes. Then you're,
Right. That's why I'm bringing it up, because I'm thinking they're linked. And to be fair, you know, to the state, it may make sense to hold until we get a little better clarity on their part. I can tell you personally, I don't have any objection to the flow, but I just don't want to lock things in place and make it inflexible later.
Can I suggest something?
Please.
Sure.
Okay. I think what we're trying to be able to identify is that as a commission and your physical plant has the capability of receiving our flows. And so the approval isn't necessarily to discharge it, although as far down the line as we can go, that would be beneficial. It's to accept that your physical plant has the ability to receive 33,000 gallons per day from the Black Rock State Park. Permission to discharge is contingent upon the letter from Watertown, which is the cross municipal agreement, and then the agreement on the rates. But what that type of a motion would carry is an acceptance of the capacity of your physical plant to receive 33,000 gallons a day and the potential intent to dedicate it to the Black Rock State Park.
What do you think, Joe? I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm just fumbling with the mute button. Yeah, I'm okay with the concept as well if they are. Again, I just wanted to make sure the conversation was had before a vote was had. I mean, that's kind of what was floating around in the back of my mind in the first place.
Okay, do we also want to include a condition that the state of Connecticut prepare an agreement for the Watertown WPCA to file on the land records memorializing the agreement that Black Rock State Park can discharge to the town of Thomaston?
Yeah, that was Watertown's, Mr. Caterino's.
Okay, yep, I see that.
But yeah, but logically that filing should be a part of that approval, because then that closes the door to the question of whether the land record filing closes the door to whether there is a need for a cross municipal agreement.
Right.
and it would be pending an agreement between the state and the WPCA on the benefit connection fee.
No, that's separate, Rich.
Okay. You wouldn't want that up front? You know, pending, if it does, if suppose there's no one.
That would be one of the conditions, yes.
Yeah, if we don't agree on the benefit connection fee, we may not want, unfortunately, BlackRock coming into us.
No, but what I'm suggesting that you do is you say that you have problem with, you have the physical plant to be able to receive it, and you don't have a problem with receiving it, but it would be conditional on and the items that you have mentioned. That way we have somewhere to put our discharge. And you are then in a position where you're saying this discharge is going to be conditional upon proof of filing on the land records of the municipal agreement or the lack of need for one. The review, suitable review by your consultants, and then the agreement on the beneficial use fee.
Connection.
Yeah. And so also it would be an all or nothing agreement. All parts need to be satisfied.
That sounds good to me, but that's up to the board.
I agree. Does anybody want to make a motion?
I'll put it in the form of a motion with that language that was just discussed. With all those-
You're following my lead, so it's John Piscopo, so moved?
Yes,
Okay.
so moved.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Okay, Joe, thank you. Any discussion on the motion? Okay, Joe, how do you vote?
Aye.
Veronica, how do you vote?
Uh-oh.
Probably with the mute button.
Yeah. Okay,
He's
John, how do you
unmuted.
vote?
Aye.
Rich, how do you vote?
Aye.
Okay, Veronica, you back?
Yeah, my mute button is off.
Okay, how do you vote?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes.
And then I can sign, Tom, I can get you to sign that approval of the flow, and I can get a copy to them.
Right. We'll have to get that language on that,
On that form.
on that part A, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Good night.
Good night.
Right?
Good
Good
night.
night.
Aye.
Okay, do we have anybody here from Unimetal?
Yep.
That was
You got Pat, you got Deb, you got Joe.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to move Unimetal up on the agenda to
No.
to right now, yeah.
So moved.
second, Rich Shannon, second.
Hey, Tom,
Yes,
on the minutes of the meeting from the prior meeting, I just want to let you know on the Black Rock State Park section of it on page 3, you have it in the range of $200,000 for the hookup.
that's correct.
That's what it would be?
Potentially, depending upon the number of units that we come up with.
No kidding. Okay, I thought it was only $2,000. That's what you're talking about. You're talking about $2,000 per.
Per unit,
My-
per campsite, per building, all the way down the line. Yep.
Okay, I was wondering why people were tight.
Okay, we have a motion that was made and seconded. Joe, how do you vote?
Aye.
Veronica,
Aye.
Rich,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
motion passes. Okay, Unimetal, you're on. I don't
Okay,
really-
hi.
I don't have anything to put up from you folks.
Yep.
Correct. I did earlier this evening send the 2018 PDF of the pretreatment permit application.
Hey, Debbie,
Yes.
before you go on, each one of you, when you speak, at least the first time, could you identify yourself? So you can become the YouTube star that you should be.
You'll notice I'm not on video. Yes. Sorry, this is Debbie Hoyes with Arcadis representing Unimetal.
Okay, go ahead.
So I resent the 2018 electronic PDF version of the pretreatment permit application to yourself and Mr. Tingle. So I believe it was about 9 meg. So I just wanted to confirm that you guys got that.
I got mine. It said it was 12.
Okay,
Yep, I got mine.
great. Okay. And then I guess you guys found the paper version as well?
Yes.
Okay. So we will be preparing a revised permit renewal application for 80,000 gallons per day, revising that 2018 version.
Okay, the revised, Debbie, the revised permit application, or basically a new permit application, will that include a reduction in the gallons per day over some amount of time? Or are you anticipating a flat 80,000 forever and ever?
We had talked about a kind of tiered permit limit, which I believe Pat is in agreement with.
Yeah, Tom, this is Pat Hayden, Unimetal. You know, based on the conversations we've had in the past and your graciousness to accept the higher number and tear it down over time, yes, we're more than willing to go ahead and get that number from 80 to the 50 range. And we can discuss what that time frame would be it 2 years, be it 3.
Okay, I think at least from my perspective, Pat, that's pretty significant, realizing that Black Rock is going to take some amount of time to ramp up. So, you know, kind of playing a little shell game on there, I guess.
Yeah, that would be great. We understand wholeheartedly.
Okay. Yeah, so we can provide some discussion on that with the application.
Okay.
And just so you're aware, we're working on treatment chemical optimization and dosing. So we should have that prepared and can be able to talk through that in the application as well.
Okay, do you have an estimated timetable for that, Debbie? You can say no if that's the real answer.
Well, no, we recognize this needs to be submitted so that we can move forward with discussion. So I'm going to tentatively tell you it'll be by the end of June.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay. Good. And we're also going to be preparing a rebuttal to the tie and bond local limits report. I was hoping to have that ready for tonight, but I will get it to you within 2 weeks.
Okay.
And again, I would send that to Tom and Rich.
Yep, that sounds good.
Okay.
I'll distribute it from there.
Okay. Good. And then I guess the other item, I was wondering if there were any comments on the boron memo I submitted, I believe, at the March WPCA meeting.
I didn't really have any comments, no.
Okay.
That was like ancient history now.
I know. Well, I'm sure it'll come up again when we have discussions on the limits, but.
Yeah, I figured that'll be all rolled in there, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So that's all I had. Pat and Joe, do you have anything?
No, nothing specific. Again, George is on his way down to Florida to pick up his dad with this COVID thing, nobody wants to fly, so he apologizes for not being at today's meeting. And, again, we appreciate the efforts by the WPCA and continue to look forward to, working together to get this done.
George driving down to get it?
He is.
Well, when they get back, tell them I would welcome them to come over to Western Hills and play that course.
Very good.
Senior has played it before in a couple of outings. I know that.
Oh, sure he has. No, it's actually a great little course. Main State Waterbury. Okay.
Try it out.
So anything else that you need from us at this point, folks?
I don't think so. As long as we're still moving forward, we're okay.
Yeah, and you had mentioned the thing with the state last time around. You thought it might be a little bit of a roadblock or a bump. We're under the impression that, the review by the state is mandatory anyways. So it really shouldn't be a hiccup of concern.
Well, I think in that case, you were a step ahead of us because it kind of took us by surprise looking at the boilerplate in our permit, so.
Yeah, okay, understood. Okay then, folks, have a great evening. Stay safe and stay healthy.
Okay, you too. Thank you.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Okay, moving on. Anything other consultant reports, Rich?
No, nothing, Tom. Anything else I just cover during old business if anything comes up.
Okay, continue with your status report.
Okay.
Stacy, could you put up the superintendent report, please? Thank you.
Okay. Well, the full crew is back and everyone's healthy at this time. The process is running well. We did experience additional problems with communications at the plant, and we had to change out RTU-10 PLC on 5/11, and have not experienced any problems as of today. Hopefully, we'll be corrected. The problem: S&E systems and controls assisted remotely. Seems to be running well. Hopefully, that's it. We were called out on 5/10 at midnight, Justin and I, and we lost all communications. But that being said, the system's still running on the PLC, except it wasn't communicating with it. You couldn't see it on any of the computers. So we actually, I just did a reset with the PLC and it brought it back. And we got through to Monday, and then we put the new PLC in.
Okay.
We were experiencing some problems with our UV intensity probe, and it needed to be replaced. Unfortunately, this probe is no longer manufactured, and we needed to go with a replacement sensor that needs additional PLC wiring configuration to integrate with our SCADA system. We have the new intensity probe up and running, but we need to manually take readings 4 times per workday at the channel. S&E Systems has been working on it and should be back soon. He's away to finish it up. But we're meeting our permit with it, and we just have to take those readings manually. It just won't go onto our SCADA system.
Okay, but when S&E Systems gets done, it will go into the
Yes.
SCADA system? Okay.
Yeah. Yep. The UV air scrubber that we replaced last month needed a bigger motor starter and has been replaced. The old scrubber had a 2 horsepower motor, and the new scrubber has a 5 horsepower motor. Naugatuck Valley Electric installed a new motor starter, which required some additional work and parts to make it compatible with the existing controls. That's up and running. But that was a little more expense. The scrubber was the replacement scrubber for the one that we had, but it just it had a 3 horsepower increase on the motor, and motor starter that was originally with it just wouldn't run it.
Okay,
Working on the facility grounds, clearing the fence line and trimming trees along with repainting the town of Thomaston water pollution control treatment sign at the entrance of the facility. The plant is, the grounds are really starting to look nice. And give that a lot of credit to Bert and the crew. That's it for the plant.
gonna make it look nice for the greenway going through there, right?
That's right, yeah.
Okay, pump stations,
Pump stations, Stony Brook Construction was, from Watertown, was awarded the Woodbridge Lane Pump Station Upgrade Project. And the contract was signed on 5/20. They should be, they plan on starting, they're in town now, or no, excuse me, that's a different, but they plan on starting at the end of the month or early next month. Stunk is,
and how long a project is that, Rich?
they want, they're gonna, they, with the road and the pump station, it's gotta be done by, I think it's October.
When you say starting the end of the month, starting the end of June or starting the end of May?
It was gonna be the start of end of May or the beginning of June.
Thank you.
Let's see, Stunkus Hydraulic Service and Sales were out on 5/20 to perform the preventive maintenance on hydraulic check valves at Hickory Hill Pump Station. Everything went well, and Justin, our new operator, was down in the pit with him, and it was a good experience for him. The additional driveway at Highwood Farms has been completed. And it looks great. The highway department did a great job on that. So it's got all millings on it. It looks real nice. And that's it for pump stations.
Okay,
Collection system. The plant crew replaced that remaining sewer manhole frame and cover on Park Street, and the town should be all set for milling and paving. On 5/19, the crew water jetted the trouble area on Pine Hill Road. And we should be good for another 3 or 4 months there. On 5/6, we were contacted by the high school maintenance superintendent, letting us know that there is a beaver dam in the nature center, and we have a sewer right away through there, and have a couple of manholes that are flooded with water. We followed our right away from Route 6 to the nature center, and we do have 2 manholes completely covered with water. From our sewer right away, with the help of the highway department, it appears we could open that up, a small part of that beaver dam, but that, I have a meeting tomorrow night with the inland wetlands and to discuss all that stuff and what procedure we have to go through. I think there's all kinds of things with beavers. So I'm not quite sure. But I spoke with Stacy, and she's familiar with the nature center and the beaver dam. And I plan on attending a meeting, like I said, tomorrow night, virtual, with the high school superintendent to discuss options.
Rich, excuse me, this is Commissioner Leduc. When you put those minutes, those pieces in, Wednesday is the 27th, I believe.
yeah, today's the 26th.
So
Okay.
you want to just change that date so that it's correctly that you're at the
Yes. Yeah. Thank
correct
you.
meeting. You're welcome.
In this right to get to where where that dam is, the beaver dam, the right of way have it. It's right where Black Rock is going to be connecting. So we're going to need to open up that right of way anyways. So, and the highway could drive right along that right of way. And there's part of the beaver dam right where our right of way is, that if you just put a little pipe in there, they have some type of, I've heard they have a special beaver pipe you can put in there that the beavers don't hear the water running, and so they don't fill it back in again. But
A beaver deceiver.
okay. Okay. So that may be an option. But that's going to take some more research on that. Okay, and that's it for collection system.
Okay, you have any correspondence?
I don't have any correspondence, Tom.
My apologies, I got dropped again. Rich, I'm sorry, Tom, did you folks hear my question?
No.
No.
Okay. Going back to the beaver dam, I asked, had you considered getting a trapper in, because opening up some of the dam, beavers love repairing the sound of running water. So if you make running water, they're going to build it up bigger and stronger.
Right, Joe. They were talking about, and Stacy had the name of that. There's a pipe you can put in that's, they don't hear the water running, and they don't build a dam there again, supposedly.
It's called a beaver deceiver.
Beaver deceiver.
Cynthia Rabinowitz from the Northwest Conservation District, who also had gone out on one of our walks out there, had suggested consideration of that.
No, it's a good idea. It just got to get the water off of the sewer line, that's for sure.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Nope.
No, that's fine.
Anything else, anybody on that? Okay, I said, like, any correspondence? I don't have any.
No.
Okay,
Unimetal, we covered. Capital
Covered.
improvements?
capital improvements, I'm still waiting for a budgetary estimate for the, like new upgrade here for the computers and SCADA program. Fog, I have nothing new. List of equipment projects. And right now, the budget's going to be real close. So, we're limiting spending to emergency and safety issues. Phosphorus, everything's working fine at this time. Renewable energy, I don't know if Tom has anything on that.
Well, the only thing I have is I forwarded, or I got from Bill Guerrera some language on the insurance requirements, which I forwarded to the company that was asking for the possibility of having a contract with them for solar power off the landfill next to the treatment plant. And I've heard nothing back. So basically it's stopped again, I guess. I don't know what they're going to do.
Okay. BlackRock.
BlackRock we covered.
Covered. New business, I don't have anything new.
Anybody else have any new business?
Nope.
Okay, next item is the budget.
Yep.
You want to do statement of revenue first, Rich?
Sure. Yep.
Okay, because that's the current budget, right?
Yes. And, it's, we got 75% left in there, but, we have a lot of, the sludge item is up. We haven't spent much, but we're going to be using, not all that, but some of that. I went up quite a bit on that light item last year. Not anticipating we were going to, from all the talk, we're going to increase our sludge so much, but we really haven't. We have a primary tank. We want to get that digester pumped down all the way this year. So we're going to make sure we get that done in this budget. But we'll have some extra money in there, and I think it's going to save us for some of these other line items like 432. And we're not collecting though. Our collections are still down. So, which I think is expected with this, so many people out of work. As far as the budget, I think we're going to be real close.
Now, what part of collections is down? The commercial?
I had Terry run me off, worked out, got me something today, about late, real late today. But it looks like the last meeting, I said we had about, we collected, we had about 17% uncollected. And it was about $167,000 in residential. Now we have 119,000. Okay.
Okay.
In commercial at that time, we had about 48,000 out. No, we had 52,000 out. And now we've collected, we only have about 5,000 left there. So the commercial and industrial has done a lot better than the residential right now. But we put out those lien notices, so there is money coming in. We'll be collecting some more money.
Okay, do you think the reduction in the interest rate is helping people?
It's hard to tell, Tom. Terry hasn't really said anything about, is it, people are enthused about it or anything. But
Well, if the commercial and industrial collection rate is good, it suggests that it didn't affect them at all. So
no, they're, and to be honest, in town here, a lot of, most of all the factories are working in town here. The big, EFI, really busy, Ward Leonard, Arcades, they're all working. Unimetal.
I don't know if they have as many though. When I go by there, it seems like there's fewer cars in their lot.
Where's the EFI?
No, Unimetal.
Unimetal? I know Ward Leonard's packed. So EFI, yeah. Monday through Thursday. They take Fridays off now, but they're busy.
Okay, well, I hope they're doing okay.
Yeah. So we'll, by next month, we should know June, it's the end of the month, we should have a better idea on the collections anyways. Only hope.
Okay, shall we move on to the draft budget?
Sure. Yep. The draft budget right now, I still, it's still, because of the pension payment went down. Insurance just went up a little bit because I was high to begin with. And that's, because you're typically with the insurance, she gives me, it's going to go up 10, 15%. This time she had an actual, she knew what it was going to go. And she gave me that cost. That's what it's going to cost her. So I put that price exactly in what she said it was going to be. And I kept the sludge where it is, for right now, we might be able to lower that a little bit if we had to. And, everything else there was, I didn't increase on much, a little bit in the salaries. Not much because, we're paying a little less out now with the new operator. And, the raises weren't that high. We're at 2%, I believe. So right now, I don't see an increase in the budget. I'm going to try next month. I hopefully I'll have an estimated user fee based on our billable gallons from this year for 2020 rather. So, oh no, it would be actually our user fee will be the 2020 user fee based on the 2019. What we collected in 2019. So right now, that's where we stand with the budget, and I'll try to get the an anticipated user fee based on this number in our new billable gallons for next month. If not, it will definitely. Last year we approved the budget in July, our July meeting, so we still have. Get you all that information in June, and then we'll probably have to approve it in July.
Okay. Rich, why do we have nothing on communication?
Communications, we haven't had that was the walkie-talkie system we used to have here. There was a fee for that, and we don't have that anymore.
Okay. Any comments or questions?
I'm good.
The only question I have, which isn't about the budget, but are we still able to be paying bills?
Yes, we're, I'm going to, once we have our meeting again, we're gonna have, the bills are all paid.
Yeah,
They're paid before, then you approve them. We're gonna have a big stack of bills once you,
when we come back and we can do
yes,
that.
they can
Okay.
put it on the table and you can look at them. There we
Okay.
have 100 bill, a lot of bills to look at over.
Right. I just wanted, I knew that you must be paying them, but I just wanted to make sure, since it never shows up on the agenda, that people are aware that we really are paying our bills.
Yep.
If you've got them all stacked up, I don't mind picking them up, take a look at them before the next meeting to try to cut through it, because otherwise nobody will get it done in that meeting. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that'd be great. I'll get them both put together, Joe, and let me know when you think I can drop them off even if you want me to.
Yeah. Let me know when they're ready and then we'll work it out from there.
Okay, great.
Because if I'm working from home that day, then I'll just come and get them as well. So.
Sounds good. That's all I have.
Okay, do we have anything for the executive session?
Not yet. I think I think we can wait on that till maybe next month or the following month. Unless you guys have something.
I do not. I know it's been carried on the agenda, that's all.
Yeah. Just in case, I guess, Tom, something comes up, it's there.
Yeah, okay. Somehow I would anticipate another special meeting at the end of June, huh?
Yeah. Yep.
Unless Stacy wants to put her job in jeopardy and tell Ed Moan that he's been bumped off in June.
I wouldn't have a problem saying it. What can you do? Fire me?
Yeah.
No. Would that he did, huh, Joe?
Right. He'd have to come down and take the spot.
There you go.
Okay, does anybody have anything else? Anybody want to make a motion to adjourn?
Richard Chandon, I'll move we adjourn.
Ms. Capone, second it.
Okay, thank you. Joe, how do you vote?
Aye.
Veronica?
Aye.
Rich?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously at 8:11. Thank you, folks. Thank you, Stacy.
No
Thank you.
problem.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody.
Good night. Stay healthy.
Yes.
Safe.
Wash your hands, don't touch your face.